Okay, so let's dive in. We're talking about landing those really big contracts,
Yeah.
the ones with much larger organizations that can really shift things for your business.
Right. And it's definitely more than just having a great product or service, isn't it?
Exactly. We've got this document here from Mitchell's Chartered Accountants, and it really hones in on um, financial stability, why it's so critical.
Yeah.
So our mission today is to unpack that. Why is your financial health like fundamental for winning these bigger clients? And what are they actually looking for in your numbers? If you're out there aiming for those bigger fish, well, you'll want to stick around for this.
It's a really key point the source makes. Often smaller businesses maybe underestimate the perceived risk from the large company's perspective.
Bendiska, how so?
Well, it's not just about can you do the job today.
Yeah.
It's more like will you still be around and stable in 2, 3, maybe 5 years throughout the whole contract life.
Ah, okay. They can't afford for a supplier to suddenly, fold.
Precisely. Any disruption caused by a supplier having financial trouble, well, that's a massive headache, potentially a disaster for them.
So you're not just selling your service, you're selling endurance, stability.
That's a good way to put it. Endurance. The source really emphasizes this is about their risk management.
Right.
Proving you've got the financial capacity, showing you're a viable long-term partner, it even impacts their own reputation if a key supplier fails.
The strong financials aren't just like a good score. They're a signal. You're a strong link, not a potential weak one.
Exactly that. And crucially, they need proof. Hard evidence. It's not just about saying, oh yeah, we're doing okay.
Okay, so what is that proof then? What specific financial stuff gives them that confidence?
Well, the document lays out the kind of toolkit they expect. First off, the basics, your core financial statements.
Meaning,
Up-to-date balance sheet, your profit and loss or P&L statement, and importantly, your cash flow statement.
right, the big three. Why those specifically?
Okay, so the balance sheet, that's like a snapshot, right? Assets, liabilities, what's your foundation look like now?
Got it.
The P&L, that shows your performance over time. Are your actual operations profitable? Is the core business healthy?
And cash flow. You said that was maybe most critical.
Yeah, arguably, because it shows the actual cash moving in and out. Can you pay your bills? Can you fund operations? Can you invest? Big clients look really closely at this. Do you have the actual liquid funds to support the work involved in their contract, not just theoretical profit?
Okay, makes sense. But they probably dig deeper than just the statements themselves.
Oh, absolutely. They'll use key financial ratios. The source mentions things like liquidity, profitability, solvency ratios.
Ratios. Give me an example.
Sure. So a liquidity ratio, like the current ratio, that basically checks if you have enough short-term assets like cash or receivables to cover your short-term debts.
Like, can you pay your immediate bills?
Pretty much. A quick check on your ability to meet obligations right now, especially those related to their project.
Okay, and profitability ones.
Things like gross profit margin or net profit margin, they show how well you turn your sales revenue into actual profit. Are your operations efficient? Fundamentally sound.
Insolvency. That sounds long-term.
It is, like the debt-to-equity ratio. It looks at how much your company relies on borrowing versus owner's equity. How leveraged are you?
So these ratios are like financial health shortcuts, highlighting potential red flags.
Kind of, yeah. Quick insights, quick checks for vulnerabilities.
And it's not just looking back, is it? The source mentions recent data too.
Right. They often want to see recent management accounts, not just last year's audited figures, but how are you performing now?
Shows you're actively managing things.
Exactly. And for really big deals, an independent audit report from a chartered accountant, that adds a huge layer of credibility. It's that unbiased stamp of approval.
Makes sense. What about just being organized? Does that count?
Definitely. The source notes that having clear, organized records and, crucially, being able to explain your financial position and trends clearly, that builds trust.
Transparency.
Yes. Being willing to share this sensitive info, maybe under an NDA, shows you're confident in your numbers. It speaks volumes about your professionalism.
Okay, so let's pull this together. For a business owner listening, what are the practical takeaways here? What should they actually do?
Well, it's clearly more than just getting accounts done once a year for the tax man.
Right.
The suggestion is investing in good bookkeeping systems. Systems that let you really understand the details, not just track totals.
And using them.
Absolutely. Regularly produce and, importantly, review those management accounts internally. Don't wait for year-end surprises.
Know your numbers.
And know what your key ratios mean for your business in your specific industry. Be ready to talk about them, explain any blips or trends.
You need a story, a financial narrative.
Yes. Be able to articulate how your business model works, why it's profitable, where it's heading, and back it all up with those solid numbers. Your financials become part of your sales pitch.
Whether you present them directly or they just find them in due diligence.
Your financial readiness speaks volumes about how mature and reliable your whole operation is. It sets the stage.
So the big message here for you listening is your financials. They aren't just bookkeeping. They are a strategic tool.
A powerful one.
Yeah, a tool to show you're trustworthy, capable, and built to last. Exactly what these big clients need to see.
And connecting back to the source's kind of overall point, getting a grip on your margins, your overall financial health. It's not just for winning contracts. It's fundamental to building a business that's resilient, profitable, sustainable.
Right. It underpins smart decisions for the long haul.
All your strategic planning, really.
Which leads us to a final thought for you to chew on. If you really dug in and understood your business's true cost per client or per service based on this kind of deep financial insight, how might that change your strategy?
Interesting question.
Would it change, say, which big clients you even try to target? Or maybe which services you emphasize? Or even how you price things? Something to think about as you plan your next moves for growth.